This is my first criticism video. I think Anyone But You was hard to watch, and I'm gonna tell you why. The story is inspired by Shakespeare's comedic play Much Ado About Nothing. The directors reimagined the characters in a contemporary setting, throwing them into a destination wedding in Australia. The themes are similar in each story: deception and misunderstanding, love and romance, loyalty and friendship, and redemption and forgiveness. Having similar themes is well and good, but the directors made sure the audience wouldn't forget their Shakespearean roots. In transitional periods of the film, quotes were adorned on random walls, books, and signs. They're meant for the audience to see and not the characters. I didn't know this movie was related to Much Ado About Nothing when I watched it, so I thought it was kind of weird. In the first scene, we meet our main characters, Bea and Ben. This entire situation is uncomfortable, for not only the viewer, but also the characters. I wondered why it was still going on. I had a feeling Bea's stressed bathroom scene wouldn't add anything substantial or important to the plot, and I was right. The first few minutes were cringeworthy, line delivery was poor, and everything seemed robotic. It seemed manufactured in a way. And also, it looked like a stock image. I don't know how to explain that, it just did. An actor's primary job is to bring characters to life in a compelling and believable way so the audience can connect on an emotional level. I could tell an integral part of the storytelling process was missing because this did not happen for me throughout the entirety of the movie. I never went through the moment where I start to care about what happens to the characters and if they end up together or not. The elements that were implemented to create tension, urgency, and chemistry fell flat for me. I couldn't see what Ben and Bea saw in each other after witnessing their get-to-know-you date montage. They laughed, smiled, ate grilled cheese at Ben's apartment, and walked. A lot. It reminded me of those icebreakers you have to do in middle school that nobody likes. When the deeper dialogue does cut in, Bea feels embarrassed about telling Ben that she might not want to be a lawyer anymore. This was meant to be a pivotal part of the plot because she's never told anyone that, so it's this big secret. With this scene, the scriptwriters showed us immediately one of Bea's internal conflicts that would be dealt with as a point of conflict for the rest of the movie. People frequently change their careers, so it didn't seem like a huge problem to me. She proceeds to apologize to Ben about her life being a disaster, and keep in mind, she just shared her heaviest secret with someone she met a few hours earlier. It's literally their first date. It's apparent to me that Bea hasn't had much dating experience, if any, because she feels awkward after accidentally sleeping over and slinks out of Ben's place in the morning. Ben also seems unexperienced because he gets sad, and as soon as his friend comes over, he starts talking trash because he got his feelings bruised. In typical rom-com fashion, we are presented with the enemies to lovers trope. If the audience ordered a well-done movie, they received an overdone, dry, chewy slab with no meat or bones whatsoever. When this trope is successfully executed, it doesn't feel old and tired. It's meant to be fresh and unique to the movie's character dynamics. It's meant to spark unexpected plot twists and explore the complexities of relationships and human emotions. Later, they meet again at a bar through their mutual friends. The audience discovers that Bea's sister Hallie is marrying Ben's friend's sister, Claudia. You know what that means. Ben and Bea will both be at the wedding. They just so happen to be riding the same plane, not planned at all, and of course Ben sees Bea and decides to go annoy her before takeoff. His character is immature like a schoolboy teasing the girl he likes, but it's not as cute because they are grown adults who are just socially awkward and can't understand communicating their issues with each other. During the flight, Bea notices that Ben has a cookie sitting on a plate in first class, and he hasn't even touched it. Temptation and impulse get the better of her as she attempts to grab it, and somehow drastically fails. The scene shifts from an arbitrary cookie craving to a hypersexualized moment that was strange and out of place. Just like the bathroom scene at the beginning of the movie, this scene was uncomfortably long. It was just a way for the directors to add sexual innuendos. I understood this as the implied meaning, but the context kind of wore off the comedic effect before it even had a chance to begin. When Ben and Bea arrive in Australia, there's a glimmer of hope that the script writing will improve with the introduction of additional characters. It's a new chapter, but unfortunately the dialogue is just as bad. Something that beginner scriptwriters learn about that makes a scene successful in delivering its message with emotion and realness is show, don't tell. For example, the love between the brides-to-be. This isn't shown to the audience. There's no mystery, attraction, or chemistry between Hallie and Claudia. The scriptwriters opt to have Claudia tell Ben about her passion for Hallie in an overtly aggressive manner. Next, the sisters have a pre-wedding sister talk where it's revealed that Bea doesn't believe in soulmates anymore, but is still happy for her sister. The next scene shows Bea's withdrawal from law school. She's someone who feels isolated and afraid of people's judgments. She feels lost and is coping with the death of a once-dreamed career all alone. And this is during a weekend where the spotlight isn't meant to be on her, and she's expected to be happy and uplifted for her sister's wedding week. It makes sense that she is so afraid of sharing this secret because of the way her parents feel about it and try to control her life. I think that this part of the story probably could have been a little bit more personal in terms of the setting and filming style. She didn't seem that torn up about it, at least externally, considering this is such a huge change in her life and will impact her future. It's understandable if her character is uncomfortable or unable to express emotions. Not everyone wears their heart on their sleeves. However, as a rising star, Sydney Sweeney is best known for her extremely emotional performances, and I think it would have been a nice touch. Maybe this movie could have had more traction with that included. Coming back to the story itself, the other characters thought of a plan to hook up Bea and Ben again. They had loud, made-up conversations about how Bea missed Ben and vice versa. The actors pretending to be bad at acting for these scenes was incredibly difficult to watch. It's necessary to the story and relates to Shakespeare's Much Ado About Nothing, but nonetheless it was quite strange. It was like all the characters had lines that were meant to over-sexualize Bea, largely based on her physical attributes. Most of the reviews that I read about this movie had low scores. People were speaking about how bad the acting and dialogue was, similar to how I have. I watched the movie to analyze its cinematic qualities. But most people were commenting about how they only watched it because Sydney Sweeney was the lead, and she's seen as societally attractive. Do you think that this rom-com would have had the same reviews if someone else played Bea's character? Or do you think it wouldn't have gotten as much publicity and views? I can't just ignore the fact that there were some really cringeworthy scenes. So much so that even the characters pointed out how stupid they were being. This is another comedic aspect that I did not laugh at. I sat there looking confused. But then again, this could be an unpopular opinion. Maybe I just have morbidly dark humor and need to watch more lighthearted films to readjust my skewed amusement. It's no secret that the genre I find most intriguing is psychological thrillers, and more specifically, apocalyptic and mind-bending movies. I'm trying to watch more feel-good movies though, since research shows engaging with media that promotes positive emotions can have various benefits for mental health, and I think it's fun to switch it up. But overall, I didn't hate the movie. I didn't wish I could go back in time to get the 1 hour and 50 minutes I spent watching it back. This movie was better in its second half, and it wasn't too slow. There was always something going on. Was it the most engaging movie I've ever watched? No. But clearly it was interesting enough to keep me watching it to the end. I thought for a rom-com it was middle of the line and had good messages overall. It was uplifting and the location was really great. I didn't have to pay super close attention to each scene to understand the plot, so it was a relaxing and chill time. What did you think of this movie? If you've seen it, would you watch it again? My opinions are certainly not end-all be-all. If you want to watch it, feel free to share what you think afterwards. If you like this review and analysis, please check out my other videos. Make sure to subscribe for more. Thanks for watching.